Okay, so let us start with the session. A very good evening to everyone present in the meeting. I, Sanika Inamdar, a sophomore from Computer Engineering Department and a member of PASC, welcome you all to one of the most enlightening sessions of PASC Rise series. Being freshers and juniors in the college, many of us are pretty confused on how to go about this college journey, specifically in the engineering field. Therefore, to navigate you to learn, explore, expand your network, and find and grab valuable opportunities at the right time, PASC brings to you the Roadmap to Engineering session. For this, we have invited one of our most righteous people PASC could have as its former member, Mr. Rajvardhan Oak. He is a machine learning engineer at Microsoft US and a former vice chairperson of PASC. He has completed his master's from the University of California, Berkeley. His past experiences include being former research intern at Facebook, former research fellow at IIT Kharagpur, project intern at BMC Software during undergraduation, and data science intern at IBM. He has also been a speaker at various insightful seminars and workshops at UC Berkeley and well-known summits. Before moving ahead, I appeal to all the participants to ask their queries later in the session. I now request Sir to take over the session and provide his thoughtful guidance to the students.
Hey, are you able to hear me fine?
Yes.
Okay. Can you just give me 1 second? I'm setting up something in my presentation.
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let me share my screen. And Sanika, please let me know once you're able to see it.
Yes. Just a minute. Yes, your video is visible.
Okay. Screen, not yet. Okay.
No, no.
Mm, okay. How about now?
No, not yet.
Okay. Okay. I don't share again. How about now?
Yes, yes, the presentation is visible.
Okay. You see roadmap for engineering.
Right.
Okay. And now do you see the second slide?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, awesome. So let me get started. And while I am on the presentation screen, I can't see the chat. So if you can't hear me or there's an issue, like just speak up. Don't please don't worry about interrupting me or anything. Just speak up because I can't see what's in the chat. Yeah. So hi everyone. I am Raj, and I was also once a member of PASC. And today I'm going to be talking about a roadmap for engineering. I'm going to be talking about what are the things that I did, what are things that you should do to shape your engineering journey and sort of make the best use out of it. A little bit about me so that you have some context is that I too started my journey at PICT like you guys. And while I was at PICT, I was also a research intern at IIT Kharagpur. Um, After my bachelor's degree, I went to UC Berkeley to finish my master's. And while I was at Berkeley, I had the chance to be an intern at Facebook and IBM, where I worked mainly on data science, machine learning, and computer security. While I was doing my master's, I was also doing a lot of research with Princeton University, so I had a chance to interact with some of the professors there. After graduating from my master's, I started working at Microsoft. So I'm currently in the network protection and fraud prevention team as an ML engineer. And while I'm working, I'm also doing some research on the side with some professors from UC Davis and some professionals from NordVPN. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me. My areas of interest are data science and machine learning. In particular, I apply them to computer security problems like trust and safety, abuse, fraud, malware, spam, and the likes. Um, so, what do you before I actually start? I want to set some expectations about what are the things that we will be seeing in like today's session. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what engineering means, what engineering is about, what are some possible career paths you can take after engineering. Most importantly, we are going to be talking about what are some things that you should learn during engineering and focus on during engineering, what you should do as you move from FE to B. I'll also spend some time in talking about how you can build your profile for a top university, because I have seen that often when I conduct such sessions, I get a lot of questions about masters, MS, and PhD abroad. So I'll be spending some time on that. And at the end, I'll share some learning resources that you can use to kick off your learning journey. Um, so what is engineering? What is engineering all about? Okay. So, at the very core, at the very basic, engineering is simply problem solving. Whatever, like, irrespective of the branch of engineering, you're studying engineering so that you can learn how to solve a particular problem. Now, that problem will vary based on each branch, but engineering is about finding solutions to problems. Engineering is also about hard work and knowledge. So, you study 5 subjects per every semester. You have to take so many exams. You have to take your in-sems, mid-sems, end-sems, practical, whatever. You have to cram a lot of knowledge, and a lot of hard work goes into that, or ideally should go into that. And it's also about continuous learning, because the things that I learned, I passed out from PICT in 2018. The things I learned, some of them are really obsolete right now. So I always have to keep on learning, even though I've finished engineering. Um, all of these things, the things that you study during engineering, really help you in your future, like even if you're not in the same field or even if you're not working as an engineer. But that brings us to the next question about what you want to do after engineering. So, some possible career paths are: you want to do an MBA, you have to prepare for the CAT. If you want to do a master's or PhD abroad, you have to take the GRE. If you want to do an MTech or ME, you have to take the GATE. If you want to go into civil services, you have to take the UPSC. And if you want a job, you appear for interviews and placements. So why did I list these here, and why did I talk about what engineering is all about here? The reason is that the things that you study during engineering really prepare you for your future, irrespective of what your future is. Even if you want to do an MBA, a lot of the people cracking the CAT are engineers. The reason is you're used to those 5 subjects, you're used to cramming so much information into your head, you're used to logical thinking, you're used to working, like studying 6 or 7 hours a day. That really helps you in preparing for all of these, where you require hard work and consistency and a lot of learning, basically. So now I'm going to be talking about, sort of the meat of today's session is what you want to learn during engineering. So I've listed some things. This is not an exhaustive list, but what you want to begin with is your fundamentals. I'm assuming that most of the people in this session have a computer or IT background, or are interested in going into that field. So you will be some of the fundamentals that you should really focus on during these 4 years are like data structures and algorithms, maths and stats, architecture, databases, and distributed systems. If you're going to be working in the software industry, these are really helpful and important subjects. You need data structures and algorithms to crack your coding interviews if you want jobs in good companies, if you want jobs in Google, Microsoft, Amazon, all of these places, they will be asking you questions on data structures and algorithms. If you want to go into data science, then you will need like knowledge of maths and stats and databases. Um, in any of software engineering or machine learning or data science or artificial intelligence fields, you should thoroughly know computer networks and distributed systems because a lot of the architecture is based on the cloud these days. So having a knowledge of distributed systems, how they work, how you can actually write code for distributed systems is really helpful. So you will be studying these as part of your coursework anyway, but do pay special importance to these. Do not skip over any of these. Like apart from the fundamentals, you also want to learn problem solving. Like I said, engineering is all about problem solving. You need to apply your fundamentals that you've learned to solve problems. And how do you do that? I'll get into that a little bit later. The third important thing that you need to know is programming languages. Sure, you know your fundamentals, you know how to solve a problem, but now you need to implement it. So you should ideally you should have mastery over at least one programming language and ideally two. So I know that Python is the rage right now, and it's really good because Python is really good for quick experimentation and proof of concept. So you should know Python. But also, if you want to work in the industry, the languages that are used in production are of like C# or Java or C++. So you should ideally know one of those two. It's not a necessity, but it's good if you know. Then tools and technology. That means that you know programming and you know all of the things that I described before. But the industry doesn't use Turbo C. The industry doesn't use like GCC compiler. So you should know what are the state of the art technologies to actually be a software engineer or be a data scientist. So an example can be like Azure ML or AWS SageMaker, all of these things. These are just examples. You also want to know how to read research papers. This is particularly important if you want to go into research or if you want to do a master's or PhD abroad. You need to know how do you find conference papers of interest? How do you read them? What do you look for in those papers? And I think I did a seminar on research papers a while ago. I think it was with PASC or IEEE, I don't remember. So you need to know how to read them and how to implement them. And finally, you need to be able to learn continuously. So you need to do something called learning to learn. So in this age of COVID and online learning, you should be able to distill knowledge from like thousands of different resources, books, and online lectures, and sort of embed that knowledge into yourself. So these are some of the things that you want to gain during your engineering life. Okay, of course you want to take your exams, you want to have fun, of course. But while you're studying, some of the things that you should keep in mind are these. Like look back upon what you've done so far and look forward onto your future plans and make sure that you're covering these things. Make sure you're learning your fundamentals, make sure you're learning the languages, make sure you're learning some tools and technology, make sure you're doing some online courses to learn things that you don't like learn as part of your coursework. Make sure you're reading some research papers to get an idea of what research is like or how to read papers, or at least get a head start on it. So these are really going to help you, irrespective of whether you want to go for a master's PhD abroad, you want to do MBA, or whether you want to do placements. All of these things are really going to help you a lot. So a lot of people often ask me, when do you start or how do you start? So I'm going to be talking about what you do during each year. I haven't broken it down year by year, but I've grouped it into blocks of 2 years. So you can sort of mix and match. So for the people who are in FE or SE, so people don't come necessarily with a programming background. So what you want to do is start learning programming. In FE, I don't think they teach you data structures, or they might be these days, I don't know. But you want to start learning programming. This was from a previous presentation that I made where I said start with C++ and move to Python. But sometimes it might be the other way around might be fine. Like you start with Python, then move to some product like language like C++, Java, or something like that. Once you've learned programming, you need to improve and practice programming always. So there are online websites like HackerRank. There's also LeetCode. So do some coding problems on there. Take part in coding contests. You won't be good when you start. Okay, you will be terrible at the beginning, but at least you learn something. At least even if you do one problem every day, even if you're not able to solve it, and you look at the solution, at least you've gained one solution for that day. First year is the easiest to score. Okay, these are all the common subjects, so it's very easy to score. Your overall GPA for 4 years will go high up, and your GPA is important. People say that a piece of paper cannot decide your life, but it actually can. So your GPA is very important. FE is the easiest to score. Your GPA, it will drive up your whole GPA. So study as much as you can in your first year, because there's a limit on how much of these other technical things you can do in first year anyway. So at least study. And then FESE is the time to explore co-curriculars in college. So I work for Pictorial and ACM. Depending on your interest, you choose what to do. You can work for IEEE. You can work for I think we have some robotics groups as well. So you can work for that. But these also teach you something. So there's also a time to sort of work on these things. And these are also essentials that you want to learn during your engineering life. Okay, it's not all about technical knowledge. This is going to help you when you write your statement of purpose for masters, or when you appear for your interviews for placements, or when you want to appear for interviews for your MBA colleges. Okay, they're going to help you. This is going to teach you some valuable lessons. You're going to get content to talk about. So what you want to do in second year and third year, as you sort of learn the different domains or learn a bit more, gain a bit more technical knowledge, you want to explore various domains. You want to learn about data mining, cybersecurity, databases, all of these domains that I've listed. So this is a non-exhaustive list, and you can have interests outside of this, like gaming and animation, for example, or soft computing. So you want to explore various domains. You want to apply your programming skills that you have learned, and actually put them to some good use. So start some personal projects. They can be simple at first, like just simply implementing a solution, for example, or implementing a research paper. Or for people who are interested in data science and machine learning, you can start like solving Kaggle challenges. And whatever code you write, whatever apps you build, whatever proof of concept you build, put it on your GitHub profile. Okay, it's like a portfolio. Like designers have their portfolios, designers and photographers have their portfolios online, and their work can be checked out. You have your GitHub profile too. And then, the most important thing that's going to help you is the projects that you do. So add as many projects as you can to your profile. So how do you get started with projects? You can start your personal projects, of course, but at the SET level, you might not have enough of a good direction. So, what you should do, you need some advice, you need some direction, you need some guidance. You should contact professors from your college and ask them to do a project with you. Okay. I know several professors from PICT who will be very interested in helping you or guiding you to this. And in the Q&A, if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to share some references or names. But contact college professors and ask them to do a project. You can also approach foreign professors or professors from different universities. I'll be sharing a little bit more about that later as well, about how to do that. But you can definitely approach foreign professors, professors from IITs, BITS, or even their PhD students. And you can ask them to do a project, or you can just form a group of, like, let's say 4 people. Find a professor in your area of interest in your own college where you can go talk to them and get a response. Go to them and say, hey, we're interested in doing a project on data mining, for example. Give us an idea, or what are the problems that we need to solve. And then they might give you a problem. You can think about it. You can read some papers. You can start working on some code. It's a good start. It's a good first project to have. Okay. And this is really going to help you improve your resume, write your statement of purpose, answer questions in your placement, or even get a job. Even if you want to apply for jobs externally outside of your placements, this thing on your resume is going to help you a lot. And finally, in TE or B, what you want to do is start looking for internships. At the TE level is when companies seriously look at you as potential future engineers and valuable interns. That's when you can begin to contribute. At FE and SE level, it's rare that you'll be able to make meaningful contributions. So you want to look for internships. You'll start with online portals like LinkedIn or Internshala. You can also do research internships abroad, and this is a very good opportunity, especially for those of you who might be US citizens or citizens of Canada, because you don't have like visa issues to go to that country and do research. Especially because of COVID right now, literally anyone can do it because you don't even need to go. Suppose you want to do an internship at, let's say, UC Berkeley, when I'm from. Um, you can just go, you can just contact professors. If they agree, you can just work from home, right? Uh, the nature of our work, of our research is such that you don't need extensive labs or apparatus to do it. You can work from home. So a lot of professors abroad are also working with students from India, China, Pakistan, so that you can actually learn a lot from those professors, and you don't even need to go there. So COVID has made sort of this the norm, that this is definitely an option. You should also be doing independent projects at this stage. And by independent, I don't mean like by yourself. I mean like with your professor's guidance, but something new, something novel, like a contribution, not simply not simply re-implementation or improvement. You can write up your work, like write up a research paper, present it at conferences or competitions. You can combine it with your BE project to make it more valuable. And if you want to do masters abroad, this is the time. Third year is when you want to take your GRE, and fourth year is when you want to take your TOEFL. Why GRE in third year? Is because GRE is valid for 5 years. In the third year, you don't have placements or B project work to do, so you have time to study and take the exam. Even if you don't want to go for masters right after your B, okay, you should still take your GRE in the third year. Once you start working, you won't have time to study and prepare for the GRE. So take your GRE in the third year. It's valid for 5 years. You can apply for masters in 5 years, anytime in the 5 years after that. Take your TOEFL only when you want to actually go, because TOEFL is valid only for 2 years. So you can take TOEFL in early B. TOEFL is pretty easy. You can like study for it in a day or two, and clear it without any hassles. I talked a little bit about how you should approach professors. So, how are you going to approach foreign professors? And this goes for professors in India as well, but I haven't seen that much of a success rate in professors from India. So, how do you want to approach foreign professors? Um, you first scan university websites for research areas. So go to the good name universities. Don't start from the very top, because they likely have a lot of interns already, and they may not be responsive enough. They may not have time, or they simply may not be interested in having students. So start with universities like ranking 50 to 100 maybe. Look at their websites. They often have like professor names segregated by research areas. So for example, if I'm interested in machine learning, so I'll look for research areas or research labs. I'll look for the ones in machine learning, and I'll see the people or professors there. So I'll identify a few professors. I'll take a look at their recent papers. Their recent papers give me an idea of what they are working on currently. You don't have to read the whole paper, but at least like read the abstracts and the conclusions and the key results. And then send out a short and crisp email. So you can prepare this template, but make sure you're customizing it for every professor. So your email is going to be very short. You're going to be writing about who you are, like my name is whatever from studying whatever in whatever institute. Then you want to write about what you like about their work and why. So I'm interested in your work in machine learning because I read this paper, I found this interesting, blah, blah, blah. You write your skills. I'm proficient in, let's say, Python, PyTorch, TensorFlow, machine learning, security, whatever. And what you're looking for, like you're looking for an internship, or you're looking for a project, or you're looking for a research experience. It's always best to say you're looking for research experience, okay? Um, and you should do this work even if it's for free. Don't expect any payment from the first round. The reason is think of it as, you're a professor. Oh, sorry, you're a professor, and some foreign student approaches you. Oh, you've never met them in your life. They've never worked for you. How will you commit to paying them money? Okay, you won't. You better not respond to the email. But if you want to work for free, that gives you an opportunity to show your skills. That gives you the flexibility to work on your own time, and then the professor knows your skills, right? You get a project to highlight on your resume, you gain valuable skills. The professor might even write you like a letter of recommendation. So it's very useful. And right now, because you can do it online, you can just say that, I prefer to work from my country, or I prefer to work from home, or something like that. They won't expect you to come to the university. It's less of a hassle to work from home anyway, because they don't need to do a visa, they don't need to arrange for your accommodation or whatever. If your professors don't respond, look at their PhD students. Okay, they will always respond. They always have a lot of work to offload, so you can at least join an existing project if you contact like a PhD student. Um, so what resources should you be using for learning? You want to practice coding and algorithms. So the book called Introduction to Algorithms by Corman. It's a Bible for programmers and computer scientists. Okay, I will share this presentation later with you if you guys want. So the chapters 4 to 13 in that, I think they're all data structure basics and algorithm basics, sorting, trees, graphs, lists, and so on. Know them like the back of your hand. Okay, a lot of your problems, a lot of the coding questions in interviews will often boil down to those core fundamentals. Then there's a book called the C++ programming language. You can practice, solving problems on your own, or you can also, focus on pointers or whatever. There's a Python mega course on Udemy. I don't have the link here, but you can just search Python mega course Udemy. It's pretty inexpensive. I think it was like 300 rupees. It had like 12 projects. You learn a lot of different libraries, packages. They teach you Python from scratch. I think you're killing two birds in one stone because it's project-based learning. You're learning Python, you're learning to do a project, and you can work on the project as you take the course. So you can also put that on your GitHub or whatever. And finally, lead code, hacker rank, and programming contests. I know that in Pulsion, I think Pulsion is coming up. There are coding contests. I forgot what it's called, but there is a coding competition. So take part in such contests. Even if you're really bad at it, it's just good practice. Hacker rank, solve questions as much as you can. Lead code. I don't know if lead code is available in India, but if it is, do as much as you can on it. For your research and projects, look at Kaggle. So the Kaggle has a lot of databases and notebooks that people have put. So develop your own notebooks with some interesting results. Upload them to Kaggle or upload them to GitHub. Go to archive and there are open source research papers. You can subscribe to feeds, like you can subscribe to machine learning, or you can subscribe to computer vision or adversarial ML, and you can get those papers. Try to replicate the results of, if you see an interesting paper, try to implement it on your own. And you can also feel free to, email the authors if you have any questions. People generally do respond. So people still sometimes email me and ask for questions about my papers, and I do respond to them. Network with a lot of people, follow key people on Twitter and LinkedIn, or read papers from academic conferences based on your area of interest. And then if you want to contact a professor, I'd already told you how to do it, but you can also get to their PhD students first, like I said, because they will respond, help you get in contact with the professor, or give you some work at least. And then these are some resources that are very specific to data science and machine learning. I just included this slide. It's not in scope of our topic today, but I had it, so I included it. I won't go into detail, but there are a few books and online courses that I've listed here. I don't know, everyone may not be interested in this, so I won't talk in detail about this, but I'll share these slides with you. You can go through the links and you can go through the books. Yeah. That was about it. I'm happy to take any questions that anyone might have.
So, may I speak? I'm Omkar.
Sanika, are we okay to take questions?
Yeah, I was just going to say, before moving on to the questions, we will be sharing a slide regarding registration drive, and then we can move ahead.
Sure.
Yeah. Just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to remind everyone that PASC registration drive is active, and I urge you to join our amazing and enthusiastic community of techies and shape your college life for a bright career. We will also paste the link again in the chat box. Now you can also type your questions in the message box as well. Thank you.
Yeah, and guys, I worked for PASC and they did not tell me to say this, but I had a really great experience working with Kare ma'am and all the PASC team. The things that I learned, technical and otherwise, have really helped me in my career and also during my masters. So definitely encourage you to join PASC where you'll have some meaningful work. And once again, this is not a sponsorship. They did not tell me to say this. I'm just saying this of my own will. Yeah, okay. I think I have some raised hands, so I will take them in the order that I see them, and then maybe you can put down the hands after your question is done. So, Rakshit, I think I can take your question.
Yeah, thanks, Rajvardhan. Yeah, it was a great session. Actually, I am from BE and I am as well from the past. Actually, the thing I am facing right now is I always wanted to go for the placements, right? And I think I have done the summer internship at Arista Networks, and I think I'm well versed in competitive coding. And recently, I've cracked the Google's winter intern as well of 6 months.
Okay, awesome.
Recently, I have been one of the 34 students they have taken all over the India. But the thing I am facing right now is prior to this cracking of the internship, at the last time my plans changed and I thought that maybe masters would be a more appropriate option for me. But later I realized that the days are gone because the time was far less. Like building the profile and then just giving the GRE and all. So the thing I did was I prepared in 20 days and just got a decent score of 310.
Okay,
But now the thing I'm facing is like, should I go to masters just now or should I go after some years? Because the thing is, I will have at least 8 months of experience, 2 from Arista Networks and 6 months from Google.
Okay. When is your Google internship?
It will start from 7th Feb until 28th July.
Okay. So we are already in, what is the date today? 8th of Jan?
Yeah.
9th of Jan? Okay.
9th.
So most of the deadlines have already passed.
Yeah, I've started applied to it as well. I've applied to some universities as well.
Okay. Okay. So I think if you have applied and you get a university of your interest, I'll recommend definitely going for like complete your Google internship anyway, right? Because that's happening irrespective of what you do afterwards.
Yeah.
So complete your Google internship. That's a very good thing to have on a resume, and like congrats for cracking it. It's not hard. It's not easy to crack it.
Yeah.
So I think you should go for masters directly. In my experience, that is the best way to go because you're still in the learning flow, or you still have clarity on your basics. You have still a good command over learning. So I think you should like finish your Google internship and go for masters if you get a university that you like. Like I don't see a point in waiting and then going.
Yeah, just the thing is like if I wait for Google, then definitely maybe I can try for some very good universities like yours university like UC Berkeley or UCLA or something. Like the 1 year experience may make a difference at Google at least if I try to get a PPO and then.
So okay, that's an interesting conundrum. I think the best way to do it would be like apply as you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Okay, finish your applications. Finish your Google internship. Try to get a PPO. If you get a PPO, take the PPO and then work because you're right. You will definitely get a better university. Okay, so some of your effort in applying right now will be wasted. So if you get a PPO, then take the PPO. Maybe work for 1 year or 2 years also if you want.
Sure.
And then you can decide. But if you don't get a PPO from Google, okay, then that 6 months of internship experience, it might not get you into a very good university, but it will get you a very good internship when you do your internship in your first year after a master's here. and you will still have that on your resume during that time, right?
Yeah. That's why I thought to open always so that at the last time I can decide.
Yeah.
That was a great answer. Thanks.
So you apply right now, okay?
Yeah.
And you plan to go, like think as if you're going. And
Right.
then if you get your PPO, then wait, because it's Google, so it's a prestigious job.
Yeah.
Work will be good, money will be good, so you can also save some money before going, and then you might definitely get a better university from if you have like 1 or 2 years of work experience with Google.
Yeah.
But if you don't get a
Definitely.
PPO, you can just go and you'll score a good internship in the US with your Google internship experience.
Yeah. That's great. Thanks for the answer.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Riddhi or Vinay, I don't know who was the first. I don't know.
We'll go with Vinay first.
Okay.
Hello, myself Vinay.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you a question. How you got your internship at IIT Kharagpur?
So I did a course. I did an NPTEL course. Do you know what NPTEL is?
No, I am in first year now.
Okay, so IITs have these online courses that they call NPTEL. There's some full form which I don't remember, but you can do your courses through NPTEL. And I did that course. I took there's an exam at the end of the course, and I got like a really good score. I got a really good rank in the countrywide people who gave that. So the people from the NPTEL team contacted me saying that the professor might be open to taking interns, or are you interested, with the same professor that taught that course. And I was interested, and that's how I got it. So it's a bit of a strange situation. There is no good answer. Like you might do NPTEL and you still might not get it. I don't know. I can't explain.
And also want to ask you that how to build a good profile on LinkedIn.
So think of LinkedIn as the longer version of your resume, or you can have your resume of only like general guidance is keep your resume for one page. Okay, so LinkedIn have all the details. So put all of your, so first keep it current. Okay, update whatever you're doing on LinkedIn. If you're doing a project, add it. If you're doing a course or certification, add it. If you're like whatever education you're taking, add the correct years. So recruiters and managers know when you are about to graduate. So do all of this. And then follow key people on LinkedIn, follow good companies, search for key terms if you want, and that's about it. But it's mainly about keeping your profile current. So if you're in first year right now, so in first year you don't have much stuff to put on LinkedIn. By the time you're in second or third year, you will have worked on some maybe extracurriculars in college. You may have done some projects, you may have done some Coursera courses, you can put all of that. So basically, if you do something that you think is worthwhile, add it to your profile, even if it's just like a small project.
Thanks.
Okay. Riddhi?
Hello, I'm also a first year student. So
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask, like, if I'm a beginner to coding and stuff, where should I begin with? What sites should I check out and stuff?
So I have, I'll share the presentation I'll share a link to the presentation with some of the ACM people. They can circulate it back to you. I've listed some sites and resources that you can start with. But do you at least know a programming language at first? Like,
Yeah, like I
okay.
don't have a deeper knowledge.
Okay, so maybe learn the language first. Maybe do some course on Udemy, or if free courses are also fine. No, you don't need to take a paid course. And then start with HackerRank or something. At first, master one programming language and then try to look into another. Don't try to do 1,000 things at once.
So like, should I start with C++?
What language do you already know right now?
C.
Sorry?
C.
Okay, so you can continue with C as well. I'll recommend learning Python at some time. So you can learn Python. Python is very easy to learn. You can learn it in like a day or so. In programming, the most important thing is not knowing like a language, but knowing how to solve a problem. So if you know how to solve a problem, picking up a language is easy. You can, if you give me like a new programming language right now, I can learn it in one day and I can start solving problems because it's just about syntax. You need to know how to actually solve a question with that problem. That is what you want to learn. So it doesn't matter what programming language you learn. Okay, start with C, start with C++, start with Python, whatever you want, but know how to solve a problem. And how you are going to learn that is through some coding competitions. You can take part in coding competitions that will happen in college or may have already happened. You can solve those problems on HackerRank. You can solve those problems on LeetCode. Yeah, that's what you can do.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, you. Can I ask one thing?
I'll take the question in order again, Vinay. Okay. Riddhi, did I answer your question or do you have anything more?
Yes, sir, it did. Thank you.
Okay. Prathamesh, I think Prathamesh was next.
Yes.
It was a wonderful session.
Mhm.
From second year, I want to do a master's in ML. So there is a need for doing 5-star code shape, competitive coding or like that. Or my another question is how to build a better profile for ML and AI for doing masters for applying the universities.
Okay, so you don't need to have a 5-star code chef or whatever. I did not have any competitive coding profiles or ranks or a lot of experience either when I applied for my master's. So you definitely don't need that. So that's the answer to your first question. The answer to your second question would be if you want to improve your profile. So you asked for ML, but this goes for really all fields. Is to basically build projects in that field. So when you apply, you're going to be writing a statement of purpose. That statement of purpose will talk about what you have done so far and how it has prepared you for this master's degree and what your motivations are. So if you want a strong profile for ML, you need to show a strong motivation for ML. And you're going to do this by doing a lot of projects. And I explained how to do that, how to build your own projects in the presentation. So contacting professors from your own college, from abroad, or Kaggle or GitHub, you do all of these things, you do these projects, and you talk about these projects in detail in your statement of purpose. That's how you're going to get a good profile. Your projects are going to tell you your motivation. And if you have evidence on GitHub or a conference paper, all the more better.
Thank you, Bhaiya. That's it.
Sharvi?
Yeah. So first of all, sir, thank you for the wonderful session. So I actually had two questions. So the first question was, what exactly is research in machine learning? So what exactly is your job when it comes to research in machine learning? And the second question is, how beneficial it is for contributing in open source, which I'm currently doing right now, but is it going to be useful when it comes to pursuing masters in the future?
Yeah. So so for research in machine learning, so my job is not of a pure research role. We run a live service, so I have to do a lot of production work as well, shipping features and all. But research is actually, I'm not sure I understand your first question. Could you sort of, yeah.
So when people talk about research in machine learning or data science, so is research more into getting into the depth of it, or probably training models more upon it in various experiences?
Okay. Got it. Yeah, got it. So you can have two kinds of research. One is a research in systems or a research in applications. So are you familiar with any, like, at least some machine learning aspects, like, or some key terms in machine learning? Okay,
yes.
Great. So for example, if I build a new transformer architecture in like BERT or something better, okay, that will improve my accuracy, improve my gains, or shorten my training time. Then think of that as a systems or algorithms research. Okay, I'm improving something in terms of either performance or time or memory management or cost. that would be going into the depth and improving the algorithm. The other way is to do an applications research. Like I built a new system or I built a new algorithm to, let's say, protect a system against adversarial attacks. Or I did build a hate speech classification with machine learning. Or I built a mask detection or COVID protection with machine learning. So that would be applying what you already have to existing to solve a problem. And oftentimes it's not straightforward. It's not simply like, okay, you know what a decision tree is, I'll take these features and apply a decision tree. Oftentimes you have to account for privacy reasons, you have to account for security reasons, or you have to do account for data imbalance, data corruption, or adversarial attacks, uncertainty. You have to think of all these things. So you can either do, like I said, a systems research where you go into the depth and improve the architecture, or an applications research where you can build systems or build algorithms to solve a particular problem. So in that, the architectures you'll be using will be mostly off the shelf, but you'll be making tweaks in it, or you'll be making some adjustments in it. The key part would be collecting data, or how do you sort of scale it up? How do you combat the precision recall trade-off? Or what is the loss function you design? Something like that. Does that like answer your question a little bit? I might have been vague,
Yes.
but okay.
Yeah, I got a basic idea of what it is about.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And yeah, open source contributions, super useful. I did not do any open source contributions when I was an engineering student, and I regret it. I wish I had done some. It gives you an experience of programming. That's good coding practice, firstly. And also, I mean, your name is in the repositories. Anyone can go and verify your contributions. The industry is all about open source right now. So you can write about, like, if you want to do your, I think you mentioned you want to do your master's or something. So if you want to do your master's, you will write about this in your statement of purpose. That really shows a good, like, you having done open source contributions really makes a strong case for your statement of purpose, saying you're actually interested in it. Open source means you're doing it for free. You're not getting paid for it. So you're doing it for free. You're doing it to like sort of improve the community or make some contributions. It's very useful. So definitely would encourage you to do as much as you can. And maybe, and also like remember to keep a track of what you're doing. Keep like some notes or documentation of what you're doing, so that you can write about it in your like a statement of purpose or essay or like whatever, or talk about it in interviews.
Okay, thank you.
Who is next? Sejal?
Hi. First of all, thank you so much for taking this session. I'm currently in my third year in the sixth semester, and I plan to do my master's in AI/ML in fall 23. So according to that, I would have to make my applications around September this year. So my question was that, like, currently I have a few projects in Flutter, but not major projects in AI/ML. And like, I have a few certifications, but I feel my profile is not that strong. And I wanted to ask, like, what should I do right now, like, considering the amount of time I have? Whether should I focus on projects or should I go for research internships?
Do you have a good opportunity for a research internship, or like a low-hanging fruit that you can easily get right now?
I haven't actually started looking into it because currently I was preparing for the GRE. So I didn't look for opportunities right now. Okay,
so I think the easiest thing for you to do right now is focus on projects. So research internships or projects, they're going to end up in the same byproduct, or like they're both going to end in a project or a research paper. So you should approach, are all of the students today PICT students, or okay, I'm not sure, but you can approach like professors in your college. Are you in PICT?
Yeah, right.
Okay. So you can in AI ML you can approach maybe if I don't know, maybe Sonawane ma'am can help you from computer department, Sheetal Sonawane ma'am. You can go
Right.
to her and if you have other like fellow students with you, the better. Go and ask for like like a project. Say you want to do a project, you're interested in this area, and that you want to like build a profile or whatever. So you'll give you like a project and you can work on that. So I think you should focus on projects. The short answer to your question is you should focus on projects. The long answer on how to do it would be approach like professors. Best to approach from your own college. They are very easy to do because foreign professors are not responsive. And form a group of students if possible. That helps you get projects running up quicker and more effective.
Right. Okay. Also, another question. So, like, what would be like an ideal number of projects, or it doesn't matter?
So it doesn't matter really. You can have 10 different projects like which are really bad or like really meaningless or really poor in terms of contribution. You can have one really good one. I think overall you should have maybe like 2 projects are good, I'll say. You already said you have some projects in Flutter. So all of your projects don't have to be in AIML. You're still a bachelor student, okay? And you're applying for a master's, which means that you're going to explore different fields. So it's okay that you don't have your all projects in AIML. You can talk about in your SOP and your resume, you can talk about your Flutter projects that you have. And you can talk about maybe this one AIML project that you do between now and September.
Okay, right. Thank you so much. That was really helpful.
Yeah. Vinay?
Sir, really sorry. Previously, I mentioned to thank you for this amazing session. And sir, I want to ask you, can we connect on LinkedIn or any other social platform with you?
Yeah. I don't know. Is if Sanika, if I think Sanika, we are connected on LinkedIn. Do you
Yes.
mind sharing the link?
Sure, I will.
In the chat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, sir, for your precious time.
Of course. Rahul?
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, hi. So thank you so much for the wonderful session. So even I am in my 3rd year right now. And I'm aware that research papers, if we publish a few research papers in our undergraduate, so it really helps a lot during our for our master's application. And even I'm planning for a master's application. So could you like give us a brief idea about how should we go about writing one?
So I actually did a session on this about like how to do like research papers. It was called Roadmap to Research Papers. I will give me like a minute. I will try to yeah, okay, I have it. I will share a link, but the short answer to that would be, so what are some areas that you're interested in?
Yeah, so as of now, I'm working in data science and machine learning. So related to that, I was interested in publishing research papers.
Okay, so the first step would be like doing, like I said before, what you want ideally for essentially what you want for a research paper is you want a project. Okay, you want to do something that has some contribution, that has some key results at the end. And so basically what you should also do is contact professors and say what you want. Okay, professors always want to get some research papers. So what you can do is contact professors. Are you also in PICT?
Yeah, I'm from PICT.
Okay, so if you're also in PICT, you can also contact Sheetal Sonawane ma'am. And then you can say that you're interested in these areas. Like let's say you're interested in NLP, for example. Then you can say, I'm interested in NLP and machine learning and want to do this. If she's the right person for it, she will assign you a project or she will help you get to like a problem area. Once you have it, and you should really look at the, you should, just one second. Am I still audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, but you can't see me, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you should really go to the link and see or like what all I have mentioned in step-by-step approach for research papers. But essentially what you want to do is find a problem that you want to solve, find an advisor who can help you in solving that problem, and then sort of implement it and publish it at a good venue or even put it on archive. The important, like the hard to do part in the research paper is not the publication itself, but in actually getting something that is valuable enough to publish. Right. So you want to do like you want to find something that is publishable. So you should approach a professor and do what I said before. That's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, so ideally, if we take about like 3 or 4 months to publish a good research paper in a good conference, so 3 to 4 months is more than enough, right?
Not really. At your level, yes. But know that so we also work on publications even when I was in Berkeley or when I'm working at Microsoft right now. Good paper generally takes 6 to 8 months or even more. But that's a very high level. You are still an undergrad student. You are in your third year. So set correct expectations. You're not going to do world-class research. You're at the beginning of your career, right? You're at the beginning of research. You're not going to do something groundbreaking. So at your level, I think 6 months should be fine. At my level, it takes up to a year for a good paper to happen. At your level, like I said, 3 to 6 months is good.
Yeah, okay, because I was going to apply in October, so considering that much period of time, I was asking regarding the timeline.
Yeah, so it doesn't, like, your paper doesn't necessarily have to be like published before you apply. It's good if it is, but it's not necessary that it should be. So like you can upload it to archive. Anyone can upload a paper to archive, so you can do that too. And you can also always say that, we have these results and I am like we have submitted it to this conference.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah, but like remember, the hard part is not publishing. The hard part is getting something valuable enough to publish. So work on that. Instead of focusing on publication, focus on good results. Even if you don't publish, the good results are still more valuable than a useless publication.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Okay, who is next? Dhanashri? Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Hi. Yeah, good evening.
Sir, I'm first year student. I have a question that what types of project we have to do in engineering?
Okay, so it's a hard question to answer directly, but it's like there is no one good answer for this question, like what kind of projects you should do. But I will, in general, I will say that you should, because you're in first year right now, this advice is specifically for you.
Yes, sir.
That there are like there are still like a lot of areas that you yet to explore, right? Because you're in first year, you don't know different areas, you don't know how things work in all of the areas. So first, like maybe choose an area that you like. So it can be like cybersecurity, it can be image processing, it can be data science, it can be anything. Okay, choose like one area. And it is not your like final decision for life or anything. This is just like one random choice that you will make right now. And then maybe do like a Google search for it or do a search on IEEE website or something and look at a few research papers. Okay, at first year level, I don't expect you to read and understand a paper fully. Okay, but every paper has something at the beginning called an abstract. It's like 300 words at max. Read the abstract. That abstract will tell what this problem is, how we are solving it, and what our results and benefits are. So read like a few abstracts and choose one that interests you. And then maybe you start learning more about that field, like read the paper if you can, but start learning more about that field. Look for free online courses or Coursera courses. I think Coursera has a free course on almost anything. So for example, if you decide to choose blockchain as the domain, you might not know exactly what blockchain is. So search for a Coursera course on blockchain. do the course. You are first year, you still have a lot of time. Okay. You will have to experiment with a few different fields to find really what interests you. And then while you are learning, you can start building on, like you can start building projects. So first time you can do a project on data science, let's say, read a small paper or do some online course that has a project based approach to it, and then build a project on it. Then maybe computer vision or the cybersecurity, do a project on that. Basically, what you want to do is have a project that you can talk about in your resume or in your statement of purpose if you want to do masters. You want to basically you want something that will teach you a lot of things at your first year level. You don't know, you're not aware of a lot of things right now, but you want to do something that will teach you new technology, new tools, new concepts. I don't know if this answers your question because it's very difficult to give good answer to what kind of projects you should do. But as you do these different kinds of projects or even learn about different things, you will start getting an idea of what you like and what you're interested in, and then you can do more and more about that. Does that answer your question?
Sir, means project means summary of all these kinds of reading.
No, project would be like implementing something, building a new system or a new algorithm, or you will code it and it will be like it will have some results, some contribution, some innovation. It can't be just a summary. So for example, if you are interested in data science, and then you can look at different data sets, different algorithms, and maybe you can build a system or write code that will add some innovation or protect against some attack or something like that. It has to be something new, like sort of new. You are still students, so at your level, you're not going to be able to do like great things, but could be sort of new. If you want some inspiration, you can take a look at I don't know. We have an event called INC, Impetus and Concepts, every year. So maybe if you can take a look at the past INC, they have this project books. You can take a look at what projects people have done for their final year. If you're really, really interested, go and approach some professor in the comm department and say that you want to do a project. Or ask some seniors about which professors will be helpful enough to guide you or something like that. Because your
Thank
project
you,
is
sir.
like, it's basically coding and like picking something innovative.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir,
Suyash?
for answering my question.
Of course. Suyash?
Hello, sir.
Hey.
Yes, am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for this amazing session. So, like my question is simple. Like, currently, I'm studying in second year, in second semester. So, like, I am exposed to these various fields like ML, AI, and I am also from electronics field. So, like that I am also into that electronics domain. So, like, currently, I'm not able to find out my interest of domain. Like, what should I focus on, and what should I more practice on? I mean, rather than the academics and all those stuffs.
So firstly, academics are important. You want to keep a good GPA. Don't disregard that. You still need good scores. Even if you want good placements or if you want good placements or if you want to go to college for masters, your GPA is very important. So please don't disregard it. Regarding like, are you interested in AI and ML, or do you even have you explored any of these fields? What fields have you explored, and how have you explored them so far?
Yeah, so I have not that much explored AI and ML, but have sort of idea.
Okay. I think if you want to really find if a domain interests you, do like some short online course is what I will say. So for AI/ML, it will be like Andrew Ng's course on Coursera. That's a good introduction. If you find yourself interested and if you find yourself writing the code, if you find yourself trying to learn more, then that's the domain for you. If not, maybe it's not a good fit at this time at least. So move on to a different domain. That's how. There is no good answer to how you can find your domain of interest. It's just learning about multiple things. or like blockchain? Does that interest you? Do you find that exciting? Do you find it interesting? Do you find encryption, decryption, security, cryptography interesting? Or do you find networking interesting? All of these things. There's no way to find out what is a good domain for you other than like maybe doing like some basic course, or you don't have to do the whole course either. Once you start, if you're bored, you will find out. So doing like some basic course and starting like doing some implementation on it.
So we should trial and error that method we should use.
It's
and
exactly trial and error. Yeah. Or unless there is something that really speaks to you. Like for example, I was interested in cybersecurity. Based on just what I know about the field, I was interested in it. And if you have something like that, go for it. Otherwise, just pick one at random. Like I told Dhanashri before, pick one at random and start like doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Thank
I
you.
think during your academics also. So if you're interested more on the CS side, although you are in electronics, look at the syllabus. Look at the syllabus that your SEBT counterparts have. Okay, you don't need to read the books, but at least look at the syllabus document. You'll at least get an idea of different fields. Read the introductions on the syllabus page. They will tell you some information about what this is. Like in cybersecurity, what they cover, in databases, what they cover, in operating systems, what they cover. You'll at least get some introduction. You'll get some idea of it on the CS side. You can do the same with your electronics subjects as well.
Yes, cool. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Christine?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, sir. So I'm in my first year right now, and I wanted to ask if, like, for example, if I've learned app development or web development right now, should I just start making projects, or should I gain some more mastery and then?
Yeah, I think the way, if you have already learned some basics, the way that you're going to gain mastery is just by doing it more and more. After a point, books and courses can only teach you so much. So I think start building projects right away. You'll do some trial and error. You'll come across some errors which you didn't come across before. You'll look for how to solve them on Stack Overflow. That's how you're going to learn. That's how you will essentially gain the mastery you're talking about. So start building projects right away. And so right now you can have basic projects. You can maybe do some, if you're interested in machine learning, you can introduce some machine learning into an app or a web app. If you're interested in computer vision, you can do that. If you're interested in blockchain, you can do that, for example. So start right as soon as you can.
Sir, would you recommend participating in INC with basic projects for FEs?
I don't know. Do they take SEs in INC, or is it only B projects?
Sir, FEs. I mean, INC is open for FEs also.
Is it? As far as I remember, the project competition was only Bs. I may be wrong, but yeah, if it is open for it, participate. INC, there is INC. There is this event at COEP. I don't remember what is it called. IEEE and ACM both have events. There is this event at AISSMS also. All of these have project competitions. Participate in as many as you can. Best case, you win a prize. Worst case, you get to look at other people's projects and you get some good feedback on your project.
Sir, I had one more question. Is it okay if we think about masters or MTech after our placements, or would it be too late?
After
our placements.
So placements will happen in your 4th year. And best case, you get placed in the first month. That's around August, September. Even if you get placed in the best case in your first company that will come, you don't have enough time to prepare for masters. Sure, you can apply, but do you have time to prepare for GRE? Do you have time to prepare for TOEFL? Do you have time to do your projects and statement of purpose and gain your recommendation letters? You might not have enough time. I think have a backup plan ready. At least do the prep work. Decide whether to go or not after your placements, but do the prep work at least beforehand. Because if you want to go after 4th year, you will be applying in 4th year. when even like probably before placements. What if you don't get placed for 4 months? After that, it might be too late to apply for MTech or MS either. So do be like, hope for the best, prepare for the worst, do all your prep work beforehand, but take the decision after your placements if you want.
So when do you recommend to start for MS or MTech?
Just take a look at the slides. I will share the link again. I'll share the link of today's slide with someone. They will circulate it to you. I've given a year-by-year breakdown of what you can do in FE, SE, T, and B. But essentially, you can really start from the first year itself, like building projects that will help you whether you want placements or you want MS or you want MBA or like you want to do whatever. That will help you anyway. So like start as soon as you can. Start building. I will recommend start building projects irrespective of what you want to do after engineering. So do the project work anyway. But I've talked about when you can take the GRE, TOEFL, and all of that also.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Parth.
Actually, I'm in first year, and my question is that right now I'm learning Python, and which books would I know there are many books available for learning Python, but which books would you recommend me to learn Python?
I don't know because I didn't learn Python through a book, so I don't know. There is an online Udemy course. It's Mega Python course. It's called something like that, Mega Python course or something. I will highly recommend that course. I have no affiliation or sponsorship with them. I will recommend that course because it was very good. It has, I think, 8 or 10 projects. So it will teach you Python. It will also help you build projects. I think all of those, it will help you do all. So do that. And then there is a book called Introduction to Algorithms, like I mentioned. It's not Python specific, but it's very important to know for a coder or someone who wants to do programming in the future. So, but that's not a Python book. That's just a data structures and algorithms book.
Okay, thank you, sir. And how would you suggest to how should we prepare for internship in second year, third year, fourth year?
So I think most internships will have you in a coding role. So what you want to do is make sure you like practice your programming with at least like any language of your choice, but also do some of this project work, like I said. So that course will be very good in helping you do that. Because see, if you want to be hired as an intern, you have to show what value you bring to them, right? They have to see something in you that makes them want to hire you. You have to provide some value to them. So the project and the programming knowledge will do that. Do some good project, share it with them, or like when you apply on Internshala or LinkedIn, say that you have done projects in this field, or say that you've done projects in this field, interested in learning more. Essentially, that's how you prepare.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Aarti.
Hi, am I audible?
Yeah.
So I'm in second year in ENTC department. The question I wanted to ask is, are there any good opportunities for ENTC engineers in software-based companies like Google or Microsoft for job as well as internship? And if there are, how can I apply and how can I prepare for the application or the eligibility criteria?
Okay, so I don't know. Generally, the way to find this out would be to go to the company website or on LinkedIn and look at the job postings that they have and see what they have, what they're asking for in the job posting. Are they asking for a bachelor's degree in computer science, or are they saying bachelor's degree in computer science or related field? That's how you can do it. That's how you know whether there are opportunities or not. Other than that, there might not be direct opportunities for you because you come from electronics field. But if you want to switch to this side, or if you want to move to this side, you want to start working in this domain, you want to start gaining some knowledge and skills. So like I said, you do projects. You can also do projects with someone from the comm department if you want. You can approach some professors, or you can do some online courses to learn more. Basically, what is important is if you want a job, they need to see something valuable in you. You need to meet their requirements. How do you show you meet their requirements? Some people can show it with their bachelor's degree. If you don't have a bachelor's degree in CS, you can show it with some projects or extra, like some other projects or open source contributions that you have. So one way or the other, compensate for something that you don't have. If you're in electronics and you want to move towards software field, do some projects or open source contributions or internships that will sort of take you towards the software domain. Now, coming from electronics, no one is going to directly give you an internship at Google right now because you are in the electronics domain. You don't have enough knowledge because you're still in second year. So you don't have enough, you don't have anything to like contribute to them. You need to add some value to your profile so that they see something valuable in you.
Yeah, okay. And I have done like courses in C, C++. Will it be like an advantage if I do other courses also in software, and will it be helpful for me?
So courses that will be useful are not like programming language courses, but technology based courses. Like for example, a course on machine learning with AWS. A lot of companies use AWS and Azure these days. So if you know how to use them, if you have AWS and Azure knowledge, if you're able to use those tools, then that might make some addition to your profile.
And what about cloud computing?
So
is it good if I do?
This is essentially cloud computing, right? AWS and Azure ML, all of these are essentially cloud computing. But I will recommend that you do, if you want to do courses and if you want them to be valuable to you, do a course in a particular technology, not in a subject. So don't do a course in data science or don't do like a certification in data. Do the course for your own learning if you want to. If you want, if you want for it to help you get a job, do a course in a technology like Azure ML or SageMaker, AWS, S3, something like that. Okay, don't do a course that is titled cloud computing. Do a course that is titled like machine learning with cloud or something like that, or Azure ML, because companies will be using those technologies and they'll see this as a positive point in their profile and as an advantage. Okay, like we already have a setup in Azure. We do a lot of machine learning in Azure Studio. So this person already has some experience or certification in that. So they will fit right in to do our machine learning work. For example, this is a machine learning, just an example. There are like security, authentication, all of these different cloud solutions. So do a course. If you want a course for a job, do it in a particular technology, not a subject.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Harshada?
Sir, I am Harshada. First year C department.
Okay.
Whatever you are telling or various sessions I have attended, they says about internships, jobs, projects, AI, ML, and whatever coding, programming. But I have knowledge in all that. I have just studied physics, chemistry, and maths in 11th, 12th standard. So from where should I start coding? Which language or from where should I start?
Okay. So in your 11th and 12th, did you have computer science as vocational?
No.
Okay. So you want to learn from scratch?
What?
Right? You want to learn from scratch, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I think the best way for you to start would be Python programming. And the best like way to learn it would be online. There are no good like books that I can recommend. So like I said, there is a website called Udemy. And on Udemy, you can find this thing called a Mega Python course. You can start from there. They will explain basics of programming. They will explain how to use different data structures in programming and how to build a project with Python. I think start with Python. That will help you get a head start on programming. And then you can move to some advanced programming from there.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Vishal?
Sir, do you think that there is a scope for research in India, or we have to go abroad for if you want to make career in research in computer science?
There is scope for research in India because I think before the things were different. Like before, there wasn't much scope for research in India, in the sense that that was sort of looked down upon. That research careers weren't considered sort of important enough. But I think now there is. Of course, there is scope for research in India, but there is more scope for learning abroad right now. There is more facilities for learning abroad. There are more resources abroad. So if you want to do like a research career in India, it's generally more difficult because we don't have enough resources. We don't have enough qualified people to teach you how to do it, or enough qualified advisors, or standardized systems, high performance clusters, or good conferences happening in India. So I think even if you want to stay in India, which is completely fine, I will still recommend doing like the learning abroad, because US, Canada, all of these are way ahead of us in research. So even if you want to come back to India, I think you can do your master's or PhD there for research, and then you can come back to India and do whatever you want.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Deepesh?
Like, what would be the ideal roadmap for someone if he's done with applications and waiting for admits, like for the next 6 months? What can we do for smooth educational process and career?
Okay, so you have done your applications, so nothing you do right now will like get you a better university, right? So what you want to do is improve on the next step. What is the next step after getting a good university or getting any university? Is getting a good internship. So now what you want to do is improve your profile in terms of an internship. So now what you want to do is the only thing you can do is right now projects or some certifications in technology. Like I said before, certification should always be in technology if you want them to help you get a job. So do more projects, do what you have been doing so far. Add those projects to, like, keep on doing those projects, maybe write a paper if you can. When you're doing your masters, you won't have any work experience, right now, if you're going directly from bachelor's. So these projects will be the additions in your resume that will help you get an internship. So I think projects is the best way to go.
Okay, thanks. And what would be your advice to build a strong foundation in mathematics for machine learning, AI? Like, I have research experience, but I kind of feel lacking in the mathematical concepts.
Okay. So Andrew Ang has a course. So Andrew Ang has the Coursera course on machine learning. You might have done that. But he also teaches the machine learning course at Stanford. And if you go to YouTube and search for Andrew Ang machine learning Stanford, you will get a series of, I think, 12 or 15 lectures. All of them are free. They will also explain machine learning concepts, but he goes a lot into detail in the maths. He will go into why we have the loss functions the way we do, why we have a cross entropy, how do you justify gradient descent, how does normal central limit theorem come into play there, and all of these things. So if you want a stronger mathematical foundation, go to that, do that, like at least listen to the videos in that course. They are all on YouTube and free of cost.
Great, thank you. Yeah, really relevant. Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Well, I think we don't have questions anymore, but since we have now come to the end of the session,
that would be great.
I request everyone to switch on your cameras.
And if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I think they've given my LinkedIn already.
Yes. Anybody else? We'll click a photo now. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. I would now like to present the vote of thanks. So I would like to express a few words of gratitude on behalf of PICT ACM Student Chapter and PICT. I feel fortunate enough to be given the opportunity to propose the vote of thanks to all those who have helped us in making a session resounding success. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our Honorable Director, Mr. P.T. Kulkarni sir, and our Principal, Dr. Srimati ma'am, for permitting PASC to conduct this wonderful session. I also extend my gratitude to our counselor, Mrs. Geetanjali Kare ma'am, for her impeccable support and guidance throughout. On behalf of all the attendees and PASC, I sincerely thank our guest speaker, Mr. Rajvardhan Oak sir, for taking out time and providing such a commendable session that will surely prove beneficial to us. And lastly, I thank all the attendees for showing up in significant numbers and your apt attention throughout the program. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks. It was great being here. And I will share the link of today's presentation with Jinesh or Sanika. And maybe if you, I think you can circulate it in the WhatsApp groups, or if you have like a list of people who have done it, who have attended the session, or like you can share it with whoever you want to really.
Sure.
So I will share that link with you. All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much.